So last time I left you with a little challenge, didn't I? How can you use these awesome conversational skills, not just for English, but for any language?
And, I've been thinking about that, and it really hit me that these skills are like a universal toolkit.
That's a great way to put it.
Like we've unlocked this treasure chest of communication secrets.
And the best part is you can use them anywhere.
Exactly. Whether you're chatting with friends in your native language or trying to give a presentation in a foreign language,
These tips can seriously level up your communication game.
it's all about connecting with people, right?
Absolutely. Communication is fundamentally about understanding and being understood, no matter what words you're using.
So it's not about the specific language, it's about the underlying principles.
Exactly. Active listening,
Asking engaging questions.
expressing genuine interest.
These are the keys to creating a space where everyone feels comfortable sharing their thoughts.
And that's powerful stuff, regardless of what language you're speaking.
Okay, so we've established that these skills are universally applicable. But how do we actually put them into practice?
Well, the podcast has some great suggestions. For those who love being social, they recommend joining English-speaking groups
Oh yeah, that's a fun way to immerse yourself in the language.
or finding language exchange partners.
You're surrounded by people who are either learning just like you or are native speakers who can help you out.
It's a really supportive environment, and the social interaction itself can be incredibly motivating.
You're not just studying from a textbook. You're having real conversations and building relationships.
But they also have some great tips for those of us who might be a bit more introverted.
Like me,
Mhm.
I much prefer smaller, more intimate settings. What kind of practice do they suggest for us quiet folks?
They actually recommend practicing by talking to yourself in English.
Wait, really?
I know it sounds a little crazy.
But I kind of love it.
Right.
I talk to myself all the time anyway. Might as well make it productive.
Exactly. And think about it. You're always available, you're always interested in what you have to say, and you never judge your mistakes.
It's like having a personal conversation coach who's always on call.
You can describe your day, rehearse conversations in your head, practice new vocabulary.
Or even just narrate what you're doing as you go about your day.
It's a great way to get comfortable with the language and integrate it into your daily life.
And of course, there are tons of other resources out there too. Podcasts, videos, language learning apps, you name it.
The key is to find something that you enjoy and that fits into your lifestyle.
Because if it feels like a chore, you're not going to stick with it.
Consistency is key. Make practice a habit, not a burden.
And the podcast also talks about the importance of celebrating small wins along the way.
Yes. Acknowledge your progress no matter how small it might seem.
It's so easy to get caught up in what we haven't mastered yet. We forget to appreciate how far we've come.
It's all about cultivating a positive mindset. Recognizing those small victories can be incredibly motivating.
So we've talked about the universality of these skills. We've explored practical ways to practice. We've even touched on the importance of mindset. What else does this podcast have in store for us?
Well, now it gets really interesting. They start talking about the science behind how we learn languages. Remember neuroplasticity?
Oh yeah, the brain's ability to adapt and rewire itself.
Exactly. And they explain how this applies directly to language learning.
So the more we practice speaking, listening, and interacting in English, the stronger those neural pathways become.
It's like exercising a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
And the same goes for our language skills. The more we practice, the more fluent and confident we become.
The podcast does a great job of explaining how consistent practice literally changes the structure of our brains.
Making it easier to access and use the language. That's incredible.
It's pretty amazing. And it's a reminder that anyone can improve their conversational skills with dedicated effort.
It's empowering to know that we have the power to shape our own brains and abilities. But, there's another layer to this whole communication thing that we haven't really touched on yet.
Oh, what's that?
Well, we've been focusing a lot on the verbal aspects of communication.
Oh, words we use.
But there's this whole other dimension that plays a crucial role,
Nonverbal communication.
the silent language.
All those subtle cues we send and receive through our body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice.
It's like there's this secret conversation happening beneath the surface.
And the Source podcast really dives into this often overlooked but incredibly important aspect of communication.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear more about this.
That's where we'll pick up in part 3, so stay tuned.
This is getting exciting. I'm ready to decode the secrets of nonverbal communication. Join us for part 3 as we unravel the mysteries of this silent language and explore how to use it to become even more effective communicators.